Hey guys, what's going on? Should the Detroit Tigers sell this 2015 trade deadline? I think maybe they should sell a few pieces. David Price, he's a free agent at the end of the season. We are not going to re-sign him. We can get a good haul of prospects back or players that still have service time under their belt or a combination of both. Tigers could really use that. Yes, David Price is our ace, and yes, he's an all-star. He's a great pitcher. But we're not going to re-sign him anyway. I know you don't want to give up on a team like halfway through the season, or a little more than halfway, but sometimes you have to restock your farm system. In the next few years, the Tigers are going to be a horrible team. It might be like the early 2000s and the 90s again. Do you want that? No, we don't want that again. We need some more prospects. Yes, we had a good 2015 draft, but we still need to get some good prospects in there. Our number one prospect is Steven Moya, and yes, he has a lot of power, and he can run a bit and strong throwing, but he strikes out over 100 times, like all the time. He strikes out all the time and barely walks. That's not a number one prospect, unfortunately. Now, Alex Avila. Avila's a great catcher, very good defensively, good strong throwing arm. Everything a catcher should be, Avila is. But we have two good catchers on our roster in James McCann and Brian Holiday. Both of them good defensive catchers. Both can handle the bat well, too. And both are actually quick for catchers, too. Yes, Avila is a left-handed bat, and the Tigers need that, but we have two good catchers on the roster. Yes, Cabrera's out, and he can fill in for first, but you also have Marte and Romine on your roster, and Krause, who may or may not be around for too long if he keeps striking out. But with Avila, you could probably get a nice top 20 or 30 prospect out of it. That would help. Or maybe even a reliever that'll be under team control for a couple more seasons. Left fielder, Yoenis Cespedes. Now, Cespedes said he'd love to come back for the Tigers even if they traded him. And with the way his contract is, it's really odd. Like, if they don't trade him, they can't re-sign him till like later in the offseason, I believe. But if they do trade him, they can. So then why not trade him for a couple prospects or a major league ready player? Cespedes, strong throwing arm, good power. He's having his best year. And he's also he's a one-time All-Star, but he's been in the home run derby twice and won it both times. Cespedes could get a nice haul back, and if you want to, you can sign him. I actually don't think they should re-sign him because you have Moya, Tyler Collins, Daniel Fields, Winton Bernard, all on your roster. They're all outfielders. They deserve a shot in the majors. And you can't trade them away because we have no farm system, really. I've been going with Dombrowski saying, like, teams still want to trade with us, but not anymore with no players the team's going to want. I know I probably said that earlier, but I'm just trying to reiterate that because that just bugs me now. You have Rajai Davis, speedster, nice on base skills, alright defensively, can hit for average. He could probably net maybe a couple fringe prospects or a good top 20 prospect out of that. A lot of teams will want Davis because he's a little cheaper, and he will be a free agent at the end of the year, but if you need some speed on your playoff team, there you go. Alfredo Simon, starter or reliever. I think he should possibly be traded, but if we do put him in our bullpen, that might help a bit. It might alleviate some of the problems that our bullpen has. But he was great at the beginning of the year. I thought he might be another All-Star. Then he just fell apart. His last about 7 or 8 starts. With that, you're probably not going to get too much in return, so it might be best for the Tigers to keep him. But if they do trade him away, more than likely to be a fringe contender to use as a starter or reliever, or if a team that's not even contending to be a starter that needs a starter. You could probably pick up maybe a fringe prospect or two, or probably another pitcher that not a lot of people know, but could be solid in our bullpen. Joakim Soria. I think the Tigers should actually keep Soria through the end of the year and maybe even re-sign him. He will probably want a good bit of money that we do not have, but who on our roster is going to be the closer next year? People are saying Bruce Rondon. I like Rondon. He can throw a 100-mile-per-hour fastball, and he's shown success in the majors. And I know he's coming back from injury, but this year has been deplorable. His ERA, I believe, is in the 5s. That is not good. So if we re-sign Soria, that'd be cool. But if we trade him, you could probably get at least one top prospect out of that. More than likely, it'd be like a 10 to 20 guy, not like a numbers 1, 2, 3, or 4. But a 10 to 20 guy would still help out this team a lot. Another player I've been hearing a lot of trade chatter for is Kinsler. He's actually signed through the 2017 season. The only thing is the Tigers don't have anybody to take over for him unless they acquire somebody in a deal. But if you trade Kinsler, you might want to acquire pitching. You might be able to find a second base prospect out there, which would be nice because we traded ours, Devin Travis. Oh, and he's having a great year in Toronto. But you could get a couple players for Ian Kinsler. Not like 2 major leaguers. I mean, you could do like another Ian Kinsler Prince Fielder swap, which probably wouldn't be a good idea. Or you can get a couple prospects, which would probably be a good idea. But will a team take on his couple years in salary? He's not the most paid player. I mean, it's a reasonable salary for a team to take, but I just don't see it happening maybe until next year. So yeah, I think they should sell a little bit, not like everything, but a few players, yeah. David Price, Rajai Davis, Alex Avila, Yoenis Cespedes. They should try to trade him at least. I mean, if they trade Cespedes, we can re-sign him at the end of the year if we want to. We need our prospects. I mean, our top 3 teams in the minors, Toledo Mud Hens, Erie Seawolves, Lakeland Flying Tigers, are doing horrible. I mean, they're far under 500. Then you have West Michigan, who's a couple games above 500. And then you have Connecticut, which is right at 500. I'm not sure how our Gulf Coast League, Venezuelan teams, or Dominican leagues are doing, but our top 3 teams are doing absolutely horrible. Then you have our Major League team, which is also not doing great. But yes, in 2012, there were a few games under 500 and ended up going to the World Series. There is that, but still, we weren't in bad position as we are now with our aging players and everything, our farm system being horrible. We actually had a good rotation. We just need to restock. If the Tigers do decide to be buyers, I think they should buy and sell, kind of like what they did last year. They acquired David Price, but they traded several major leaguers like Austin Jackson, Drew Smiley. Yes, Drew Smiley will be under contract for a few more years, but Jackson's a free agent at the end of the season. They did trade Willie Ademis, though, who's considered a top 100 prospect, so there goes one of those. We have one player on most top 100 lists, and that's Steven Moya, who's probably going to be removed from there pretty soon. He does have big-time power and a big arm, but that's about it. So, maybe buy and sell, but try not to trade from our farm system because we have nothing in there. We really don't. So, hope you guys found this informative for the Detroit Tigers. Hopefully they can still win this year. Even if they do trade those players, they can still win. Baseball's a funny game like that. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye.